More Than Meets the Eye by ScarlettRosie. Read by My Lost and Found. Summary. Dry, cold days are the worst. When the pink girl looked up, the two curly-haired students shared a short, non-verbal conversation. "Fuck the cold," Izuku expressed with a scrunch of his nose and a quick tucking of another loose strand of hair. "It's the absolute worst. Like your hat, though," Mina replied back. A vehement nod of her head crossed with arms folded by a quick glance at his hat with a smile. "Thanks, yours is cute too," Izuku continued, smiling back gratefully before giving her a quick thumbs up as he went to take his seat. Or, how a cold front created two best friends. It started on a dry day in the middle of an out-of-season cold front. Izuku glared at a strand of hair that escaped his beanie, huffing as he forced it back under his hat. On a good day, his hair was what some would describe as fluffy, but cold days were always bad hair days, as his hair went back to its secret role as a frizz monster living on his head. Izuku walked into class, bracing himself for Kacchan's normal routine of snatching the hat off his head and making fun of the rat's nest that was his hair. He sighed a breath of relief as he realized Kacchan wasn't at class yet. The blonde never did like the cold. As Izuku looked around the room to see who was in the class already, he noticed Mina was also wearing a hat, a large beret covering most of her hair too. When the pink girl looked up, the two curly-haired students shared a short, non-verbal conversation. "Fuck the cold," Izuku expressed with a scrunch of his nose and a quick tugging of another loose strand of hair. "It's the absolute worst. Like your hat, though," Mina replied back, a vehement nod of her head with crossed arms followed by a quick glance at his hat with a smile. "Thanks, yours is cute too," Izuku continued, smiling back gratefully before giving her a quick thumbs up as he went to take his seat. The rest of the class didn't notice the exchange between the two, and the day proceeded as normal. When Bakugo showed up, he wasted no time snatching Izuku's hat. Both the green and pink-haired curls glared at the boy until he returned the hat with a muttered, "Stupid nerd." "I think I've figured out why the cold is the devil," was what Izuku said as he caught Mina outside the 1A classroom. The two had been bonding over their shared hatred of the current weather and its effect on their hair. The girl paused for a moment, eyes widening at the thought of finally having the answer to the lifelong mystery as she adjusted her beret. "Okay, so I did some research last night because I figured if both you and I have the same issues, then it must be a common thing, right? And someone must have an explanation or solution on something. So I did some research and found some articles and a whole subreddit about curly hair and tips to take care of it. And I watched like 100 hair tutorials and filled up 2 notebooks about curly hair. And anyway, I'm getting off topic. The issue is our damn hair care products. Probably our conditioners." As Izuku finished, slightly out of breath, he watched Mina's reaction as she processed his words. "Our conditioners?" she asked, seemingly surprised at the simple answer. Izuku nodded firmly, pulling out 2 notebooks from his bag, titled Curly Hair Method 1 and 2. "Yeah, basically, some hair care products have an ingredient called humectants, something like glycerin, that in dry weather can pull water out of your hair and make it dry and frizzier. The cold weather is normally also dry weather, especially in the winter." As Izuku explained, he opened Notebook 1 and pointed to where he wrote his notes on how weather affects curly hair. Mina slowly blinked and leaned in closer to Izuku. "So, if we change what we use, we won't have frizzy monsters anymore?" she asked incredulously, like she couldn't believe it could be that easy. Or not involve some sacrifice to the hair gods. "Exactly. Wait, you call your hair a frizzy monster too?" Izuku replied, giving Mina a side glance like he wanted to make sure she wasn't making fun of him. "Well, what else would you call it?" came the answer, as Mina gently took the notebook out of Izuku's hands. "Okay, so, what do we use instead?" "That's a complicated answer that'll make us late for class, and requires more research in the form of trial and error," Mina nodded in acknowledgement as she skimmed over the notebook. All right, how about after class? You can explain everything to me in these notebooks, and I can pay for food. Oh, how about ice cream? There's a really good place nearby, Mina suggested as she handed back the notebook, her voice rising in excitement as she suggested the hangout. Now it was Izuku's turn to blink. We're in a cold front. So? Another blink. Mina looked completely serious. Well, as serious as the girl can be. Nothing, I guess. Sure, ice cream it is. As Mina and Izuku exchanged contact information, just in case, they failed to notice someone was watching them. Kirishima wasn't sure what to make of the two's conversation, but if it was what he thought it was, then good for Midoriya. Mina was a cute girl. It was about 5 days after the announcement of the sports festival when Mina messaged Izuku about having a Netflix binge at her house. The formerly quirkless boy was lifting weights in his room, the rain outside stopping him from doing his full routine for the day. Alien Queen. Please, Izuku-san, I really want to watch She-Ra, but I don't want to watch it by myself. I think you would like it. Number 1 All Might fan. I told you just to call me Izuku, and I don't know, isn't there like a lot of seasons? That'll take a long time to finish, and I really need to focus on training. I really need to work on controlling my quirk. You've seen what it does to me. Alien Queen. There's only like 5 seasons. It's 47 hours of content. Totally doable. And you need to take breaks too. Breaks are very important for our mental health. Stress is bad for your health and your skin. And your bones! So, yeah, take a break. Number 1 All Might fan. Well, I can't exactly argue with that. But 47 hours is a lot. The Alien Queen. I bet you've had bigger binge watches of the All Might animated series. Number 1 All Might fan. Don't expose me like that. Number 1 All Might fan. That's different. Number 1 All Might fan. Okay, fine, but we're not watching the whole thing. I mean it. 47 hours straight is a lot. How about we get through the first 2 seasons and save the rest for another day? Alien Queen. Ah! Yes, okay, we can do that. This will be so fun! I'll make sure to have the best snacks. Number 1 All Might fan. Every time we hang out, you feed me. Are you trying to buy my friendship with food? The Alien Queen. No! Number 1 All Might fan. Because you don't have to. We're already friends. The Alien Queen. Well, it's a good thing I'm not, Izuku. But, I'm glad we're friends, which I already knew. The Alien Queen. Anyway, so how about you come over at like 1 p.m.? That should give us enough time to watch everything before it gets too late. Number 1 All Might fan. Sure, looking forward to it. I gotta go. My mom is working late and I gotta start dinner. The Alien Queen. Okay, talk to you later. I'll send my address later. Hey, Mina, want me to come over this Sunday? We can finally get to watching the 3rd season. Izuku asked, as the class was packing up for the day. Dinky gave the pair a double take, wondering when the shy boy became such good friends with the exuberant pink-skinned girl. Sure, babe. Same time as normal? Mina replied, smiling widely. Dinky's mouth dropped at the pet name. Oh, so it's like that then. That explained Midoriya's new haircut. And Mina's. Huh. Damn, Midoriya works fast, he said under his breath. Kirishima heard it, though. Bro, I know. I saw the 2 of them agreeing to go on a date during the first week, he explained. Dinky let out a low whistle as they walked out of the classroom. He thought the 2 looked cuter lately. Guess they were in the I want to impress my date phase. Neither Izuku nor Mina noticed the interaction, too busy discussing their predictions for the next season. Izuku, babe, please let me teach you about fashion, Mina begged. The 2 of them were hanging out in his living room, Izuku tutoring Mina for an upcoming English exam. They were taking a short break, with Mina on the floor surrounded by her books and notes, and Izuku sitting on the couch. Mina, no, seriously, you taught me all about how to take care of curly hair, Mina stated, flipping her hair, which had never looked better. You did all the work learning about curly hair and avoiding sulfates and silicones and using leave-in products and protein moisturizer balance and plopping and everything else. And look, it paid off. I want to return the favor. I want to repay the favor, Mina pouted, finishing her little rant. Izuku looked down at the t-shirt. He messed with the hem of it. What's wrong with the way I dress? He asked, self-conscious. This wasn't the first time someone had told him his fashion sense sucks, but something about it hurts a little more coming from Mina. The two have become really close lately, and he respects her opinions. Babe, no, she rushed to say, shaking her head. I don't mean anything bad about it. I get that you're just trying to dress comfortably, and I think some of your shirts are funny. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but they don't fit you and aren't always appropriate. Izuku stopped messing with his shirt and looked at her. What do you mean? He asked. Mina got up from her spot on the ground and gestured for Izuku to stand up. The boy does so nervously, somehow making himself seem smaller than her despite the height difference. It's way too baggy. You have a great bod, but no one can see it because you're hiding it. And those jeans do not do you justice. You need skinny jeans like yesterday, she explained, grabbing his shirt and bunching up the fabric at his side to show Izuku just how much excess there was. But tight shirts are uncomfortable, and I don't know if I'd say I have a great bod, but why should I care if I'm hiding it? Izuku blushed at the compliment and avoided eye contact with the girl. God, this was embarrassing. Mina huffed. How are you ever going to pick up a girl? She felt Izuku tense up, and with the burst of gut intuition that she didn't know she had, continued with, or a boy if you don't show off your assets. How are they going to know what they're missing out on if you don't flaunt it? She let go of the fabric and parked her hands on her hips, clearly willing to argue the point. A boy? Why would you say that? I don't... Izuku stammered, but couldn't finish the sentence. He trailed off, and an awkward silence enveloped the room for a second. He stared at his feet. Izuku, babe, I don't care. I don't care if you like guys or girls or no one, or both. And if you don't want to say anything, that's also fine. You're my friend. I support you no matter what, as long as you're happy and healthy. Which is why I want to give you a makeover. I think it'll make you happier. Mina gave Izuku a hug, trying to express through actions how much she cares and supports him. Izuku hugged back after a second, and the two just stayed like that for a while. Izuku had friends. Ochako and Ida are his friends, and since the whole stain thing, he and Todoroki have been getting along better. But he never felt comfortable enough to share this with them. He remembered the taunts from middle school, the kids that made fun of a boy for anything that wasn't strictly manly. How his mom kept asking when he was going to bring a girl home, and how she was looking forward to grandkids, and how scared he was to disappoint her. How scared he was to disappoint All Might, his classmates, everyone. He was terrified. I think I like boys and not girls, he whispered, suddenly worried his mom would hear despite her working overtime right now. Mina hugged him tighter. That's okay. You're okay. I'm still your friend, and you're still a hero student, and you're still going to be a great pro hero someday. And if anyone gives you a problem, I will melt them, Mina exclaimed. Izuku didn't react at first, and Mina started to panic and was about to pull back and look at him when he suddenly gave a sniffle. She held Izuku while he cried into her shirt. Bakugo didn't know how to process what he was seeing. Deku had always been a walking fashion disaster. He either wore his shitty shirts with equally shitty jeans and garbage red shoes, or he'd wear All Might merch. No exceptions. It was an assault to Bakugo's eyes, considering he was raised by fashion designers. Except, apparently, there was one exception. The shitty nerd was standing next to Pinky in the food court of the mall, in an orange crop top hoodie and ripped black jeans. Correction. Ripped skinny black jeans and black sneakers. What the fuck? Since when did Deku look good? An explosion went off in Bakugo's hand. He turned around and left the mall. He could come back later to buy his new hiking shoes for camp. Oh god, oh god, oh god. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready. Oh god. Mina babbled. She paced back and forth, grabbing the attention of those nearby. Izuku grabbed her face and held her forehead to his. Calm down, Bubblegum. Your routine is amazing. Your outfit is amazing. You're the best dancer I have ever seen, and you've got this, he proclaimed, staring her right in the face. He made sure to keep her gaze until he saw her calm down. Then he let go of her face and grabbed her hand. You got this competition. You're gonna beat everyone. And then we're gonna celebrate with ramen at your favorite shop, he stated, completely confident in his words. Mina relaxed at her friend's support. He was right. She could do this. Yeah, you're right. I've got this, she agreed, hyping herself up. She bounced in place. Then they called her name. She couldn't do this. Oh, God, she said, but Izuku slapped his hand over her mouth. You've got this, Izuku repeated. Then he pushed her towards the stage. He gave her a double thumbs up when she looked back at him. Mina took a deep breath and took the stage. Her outfit was simple, a black hoodie that Izuku's mom had embroidered with Alien Queen in pink. Because if it can't be her hero name, then it can be her stage name. And red sweats and black sneakers. She had practiced her routine 1,000,000 times. She had this. When it was over, she stood next to Izuku to watch the rest of the competition, listening to his mumblings about the other dancers and occasionally adding a comment. The nerves were back in, but she held strong. She did her best. That was all she could do. When they announced her first place win, she couldn't believe it. She still couldn't believe it when they were in the ramen shop. Did you know that if you put 2 grapes in a microwave, it makes plasma? Izuku said. Mina did not respond, staring at her medal. It was like she didn't hear him. Like, it can really mess up a microwave, set it on fire and everything. The videos are really cool, he continued. Mina kept staring at her medal. Yeah, she said, slowly taking her attention from the object in her hands. Oh, yeah. You good now? He asked. Mina nodded. The shock was wearing off. Good, he said, before a smile broke out on his face and he exclaimed, Oh my god, you won! Mina squealed with him, smiling wickedly. The two continued to gush over her win until someone at a nearby table cleared their throat. They cut themselves off, blushing in embarrassment at the scene they were making, but unable to drop their grins. I knew you'd win, Izuku insisted, taking a bite of his ramen. I'm glad one of us did. I was so nervous, she said, playing with her food. My dad thought it was a waste of my time. Izuku frowned at that. He didn't like Mina's dad. He's an idiot. And aren't you the one that always tells me we need to do fun stuff for our mental health? I know you've been stressed out about final exams coming up. Mina sighed and shrugged her shoulders. Yeah, I guess I have been. Not all of us can be you, broccoli babe, she teased, teasing Izuku to try and lighten up the atmosphere again. He groaned, knowing what she was doing and letting her. I hate that nickname. Can we go back to Uzu, babe? He begged. Mina shook her head sternly. Nope, I can't unsee it now. You, she pointed at him with her chopsticks, are a human broccoli. You just have to live with it. Fine, then you're still bubblegum. She smiled at him, not minding the nickname at all. He rolled his eyes and went back to eating. Sarah was shocked to learn that Midoriya could dance, and break dancing at that. However, here he was, showing off his skills on the floor, in an outfit that Sarah didn't think was his style, but that showed what he knew about Midoriya. Well, that was $20 down the drain. How did Mina know he could dance? Good, huh? I taught him everything he knows, Mina boasted. Sarah nodded before the words caught up to him. Wait, you taught him? That's cheating, he complained. He looked at his classmate, who was still watching Midoriya with a proud grin. It's not cheating. I said Midoriya could dance, and you said there was no way, and you agreed to the bet. Now pay up. I want to use the money to buy us lunch. As Sarah handed over the money, he wondered how he didn't notice until now that the two of them were dating. Izuku was an emotional person. Mina was too, although she wasn't as quick to tears as he was. Still, this seemed excessive, even for him. Broccoli, babe. Izu? She asked cautiously. The green-haired boy was sobbing as the credits played, having been on the verge of tears for the whole episode, only to finally have them fall once it was all over. They were in her room, watching the last season of She-Ra. Having to put it off due to the craziness of the term, it was only 2 days before they were leaving for summer camp, and they decided to finally finish it. And now, Izuku was sobbing in her bed, wrapped in a big pink blanket that they were sharing as they watched the show on her laptop. Something felt wrong, and she didn't know what it was. The best she could do was reach out and cuddle him, waiting for him to calm down. It took an hour. You don't need to tell me what that was about, Mina said, as Izuku's sobs quieted to sniffling and hiccups. But you can if you want. I won't judge. Izuku's silent for a moment. Dora and Katra reminded me of me and Kachan, he whispered. Mina froze at that, not knowing what she was expecting, but not that. That was actually not that surprising. The weird tension and intensity Izuku always had with his childhood friend made a lot of sense now. She held him tighter. Hopefully, they'll have the same happy ending. Okay. That freak isn't my daughter! The sound of glass breaking woke up Izuku. He blinked, blurrily, looking at his surroundings. The pink decor quickly reminded him of where he was. Mina's room. After his breakdown earlier, he was too tired to walk back home, so he slept over, taking up the floor of Mina's room. Nothing new. The sound of more yelling quickly reminded him of what woke him up. But that was also not new. He looked up at Mina's bed, and sure enough, she was also awake, but pretending not to be. Want to listen to some music? I have some new stuff to show you, he asked, already grabbing his earbuds from his bag. Sure, Mina replied, not opening her eyes. She scooted over to give him space as he lied next to her and handed her an earbud. He hit play, hoping it was enough to distract her. This ain't Build-A-Bitch. You don't get to pick and choose different ass and bigger boobs. If my eyes are brown or blue, this ain't Build-A-Bitch. I'm filled with flaws and attitude, so if you need perfect, I'm not built for you. Mina snorted at the song, opening her eyes to give Izuku a WTF look. This wasn't his normal style of music. He just shrugged, glad it was working. He sang along with the rest of the song, making Mina giggle every time the resident cinnamon roll cursed. Seeing her reaction, Izuku decided to sing along with the next song too, despite how badly it made him blush. Mina was laughing at his expense, and if it was distracting her from her asshole dad, well, it was worth it. And when a particular lyric made her choke with laughter because, Izu, that perfectly describes you and Baku, babe. Like, seriously? So perfect. Well, what was he supposed to do? Not replay the song? As the students of 1A moved into the dorms, several people were surprised to see how close Mina and Izuku were. The two could be frequently found in each other's dorms, loud American music playing, and sat practically cuddled together during the movie. Uradaka wondered why Deku-kun didn't trust her enough to say he was dating. She would have supported him. Ida was worried about them spending so much time in each other's dorms. There were rules about that kind of thing. Bakugo just wanted the two lovebirds out of his sight. Their love was disgusting and distracting. He thought as he rubbed his chest to alleviate some weird heartburn he had. Todoroki just thought they were good friends, and that he wanted to join the cuddle puddle. Mina had no idea what was up with Izuku. It was weird, because the two of them have become really good friends. She arguably knows him better than anyone else in their class. Except maybe Bakugo. Actually, scratch that. She did know him better than Baku Babe, which was why she was confused. Bakugo was yelling at Izuku about being a disaster in the kitchen. Apparently, he tried to thaw frozen grapes in the microwave and nearly set it on fire. This was, apparently, the last straw after he burned food several times in the first week after they moved into the dorms. Bakugo even tried to teach him how to at least make rice, but he burned that too. With a rice cooker. Mina was impressed. Mina was confused. She knew Izuku could cook. He had made dinner whenever his mom had a night shift or worked overtime. She had seen him cook and eaten his food. And she still remembered that plasma grape video he showed her. So she was very confused. In the midst of her confusion, Izuku made eye contact with her. "Don't say a word," his eyes screamed. Mina blinked. "I don't know what's going on, but okay," she responded. With that, Mina turned around and left the kitchen. Later, she found out that the argument led to Bakugo agreeing to cook for Izuku to prevent him from cooking in the kitchen. She high-fived Izuku next time she saw him. "Baku babe, do you think there is anyone in here that Izu babe envies?" She asked, an odd sing-song emphasis on the last word. Izuku, who was eating his breakfast in peace with Bakugo, started coughing and blushing. He shot a glare at Mina, which wasn't very scary since he was still in his pajamas. "If there's anyone the nerd should envy, it's me. He'll never be on my level." Bakugo scoffed, giving Izuku a weird look as the boy stopped choking. Mina smirked. "Yeah, I guess you could say you're not in his league. Right, Baku babe?" She continued. A low hiss of, "Mina, stop!" escaped Izuku. But Mina, in fact, did not stop. Bakugo furrowed his eyes in confusion, but nodded, not understanding what was going on between the two weirdos. Mina giggled as Izuku blushed harder, groaning into a facepalm. Bakugo was completely lost here. "Now I can't leave. Now I'm acting hella elite. Never want the..." Mina sang under her breath, between giggles. Until Izuku got up from the table and grabbed her arm. He dragged her out of the kitchen. "Hey, I just remembered. Didn't you want to go over the math homework together before class? Let's do that," Izuku said. The two left Bakugo in the kitchen with Izuku's half-eaten plate and a frown on his face. What was that? He thought, the weird heartburn setting back in. Class 1A patiently waited for Izuku and Mina to announce their relationship. They gave the couple several chances to go public. The couple didn't take a single one. It was getting ridiculous. Time for an intervention. "All right, Mina, truth or dare?" Denki asked. The whole class was having a game night, just a little bonding after all the stress of the recent days. They started with a Mario Kart competition, moving to Pictionary, and now they were playing good old-fashioned Truth or Dare. "Truth!" the pink girl exclaimed. After what he dared Sero to do last round, oh, God, no. She would rather have truth. Besides, she's got nothing to hide. "Okay," the blonde started, giving a side-eye glance to Izuku. "Are you and Midoriya dating?" The rest of the class leaned in after Denki's question, clearly interested in the answer. Some of them had knowing smiles, while others looked curious, and darted eyes between her and Izuku. Bakugo glared at the floor. Mina and Izuku, for their part, just stared at shock at Denki. The two slowly looked at each other. "What?" Mina started. "The fuck?" Izuku finished. Now it was the class's turn to be shocked. "Holy shit, I don't think I've ever heard Midoriya curse before, bro," Kirishima whispered to Sero. Sero nodded, staring at the two. That was an interesting reaction. "Why would you even ask that?" Mina asked. She stared at Denki, completely caught off guard by the question. Broccoli Babe was like her younger brother. You can't be serious with that question," Denki cried out. Sero piped up with "The two of you hang out so much. What else could it be? Plus, Midoriya has had a serious glow-up this year. Look at him. He's completely different, like he's trying to impress someone." Denki nodded frantically. "Yeah, and he stayed in your house before? In your room. You told us that. And he stays in your dorm all the time. And the two of you aren't exactly subtle on movie night." Denki gave Izuku a sly look, which made Izuku blanch. "Because I fell asleep there? God, not because of other reasons. No! And what do you mean we're not subtle? We're just cuddling. Platonic cuddles," Izuku shouted, shaking his head. Mina nodded. "Yeah, we're just friends. Like, best friends, but just friends," Mina insisted. It didn't seem like they believed her. "You can't lie. You picked truth," Denki said. Mina glared at him, standing up and waving her finger in his face. "I'm not lying. We're just friends," she yelled. She saw Denki open his mouth to say something more, but he got cut off. "I'm gay." The room fell quiet. Silent. Izuku was staring at his hands in his lap. Mina wasted no time in dropping back to the floor and reaching over and grabbing one of his hands, before giving her classmates a harsh look. "Anyone who has a problem with that, I will melt you," she threatened, a little acid pulling in her free hand. That seemed to shake some of them out of their silence. Kirishima was the first to speak. "Bro, that was super manly. Coming out takes a lot of guts." "Oh, wow. I didn't see that coming," Sero said. Sorry, Midoriya, for assuming." "Oh, good. So they weren't breaking any rules then." Ida breathed in relief. He really didn't want to reprimand his friends. "Deku-kun, why didn't you tell me?" Uraraka cried out, rushing over to give the nervous boy a hug. "Wait, you guys thought they were dating?" Todoroki asked, frowning at his classmates. "I wanted to tell you. I was just nervous, and there was never a good time to come out," Izuku mumbled, from where he was being suffocated by Uraraka's hug. Denki rubbed the back of his head, looking ashamed. Sorry I said you were lying, Mina. I guess those are platonic cuddles. And Mito, it's cool. I don't think any different of you. You're still awesome." Mina nodded at that, happy her friends weren't being jerks. The rest of the class slowly gave their own, though, all of them supporting Izuku. But she couldn't help but notice one person still hadn't said anything. Soon enough, Izuku noticed too. "Kachan?" he asked nervously. The green-haired boy braced for a possible explosion. The whole class braced for a possible explosion. Uraraka moved between the two boys, just in case. The spiky-haired blonde just sat there, staring at Izuku and Mina. "Whatever, shitty nerd. This doesn't change anything. I'm still better than you," is what Bakugo eventually muttered. Mina resisted the urge to make a joke. Now was not the time for inside jokes. Slowly, the group relaxed and went back to playing the game, with Mina asking Todoroki who picked Dare. And as Todoroki prank called his dad, Mina couldn't help but feel happy. She was glad that now they could see a little more of the real Izuku. I had to sing. Okay, I know I did like a bit for one of my DTC things with the like, to fly me to the moon and let me kick its fucking ass, but I just love that. But oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how long it took me to try to get a decent take of that. And like the second song bit, I did not recognize that. I had to like look it up because I wanted to get it right. But oh my gosh, this fic was good. I like this fic, even if I forgot it at singing. But someone recommended it to me in like the comments of a video, and I eventually got around to checking it out, and it was great. So PodFic, thank you for the person who recommended this. I really enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure there's like a series if you want to check out like some more. I don't think I'll be podficking the rest of it. I haven't read it, so who knows, but you guys can check that out. Like, link in the description as always. I'll include the series there. But no, yeah, best friends, they're just friendship. Yes, it's platonic. Friendships can be platonic, guys. Oh, it's great. This is a great friendship. They're just so cute in a platonic way. But yeah, this was great. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drink some water. I'll see you next time.